Greetings, colleagues, and in particular, Professor Becky Mamba, the Executive Dean of the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, Professor S.V. Motaung, a colleague from the Nelson Mandela University, and Professor Motaung is a lecturer in physics at the Nelson Mandela University. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends of Professor Motaung, my name is M.S. Mutata, the University Registrar, and I'm honored to welcome you to this significant and auspicious occasion of the University of South Africa to proudly acknowledge and congratulate, and indeed to demonstrate how grateful we are with the academic achievements of Professor Tshwafo Motaung. It is therefore fitting that I formally welcome you first, Professor Motaung, and thank you for reaching the academic pinnacle and for making this congregation possible today. Congratulations on your achievements. As I said earlier, may I also take this opportunity once more to welcome your family who have accompanied you here today. We join them in their pride in you, but also wish to express our thanks for the support over the years. We really thank them for their support. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to introduce Professor Tshwafo Motaung to the university community as well as to the wider community where Professor Motaung's research focus area is deeply embedded. Reaching the pinnacle may sound like defining the end, but such definition will be far short of the truth. The pinnacle signifies the beginning of what I would characterize as the beginning and continuation of deep engagement with not only the academic and non-academic colleagues, but also with the greater community. Today will mark the milestone in Professor Motaung's academic career as a full professor and provide a platform to share his knowledge and research and to usher in new discoveries, new ideas, deep insights, and provocative thinking to a diverse audience here and beyond the walls of this venue. For knowledge and the drive to share and implement it cannot be detained successfully within the confines of a venue or the physical perimeter of the university. Professor Motaung is the living truth of the university's vision to become the African university shaping futures in the service of humanity. Through his research, he is inviting and welcoming us to spaces where we define tomorrow and in which we are continuously forging ahead. The topic this afternoon is polymer nanocomposites, material science and entrepreneurship. I therefore continue to welcome you and invite you to sit back and receive the pearls of wisdom and the prodding that will naturally follow in joining us to keep up with the times and to continue striving towards being and remaining a step ahead of such rapidly changing times. Having said these few words, allow me to resist the temptation to attempt to deliver an unscheduled lecture, for mine is really to welcome you to this inaugural lecture. As I return to my seat, Professor Becky Mamba, the Executive Dean of College of Science, Engineering, and Technology at UNISA, will take to the podium to formally introduce Professor Motaung. Professor Mamba will then be followed by Professor Motaung, and Professor Motaung will then respond to the inaugural lecture. I will only return to this podium to guide the proceedings to a close. Professor Mamba, I now request you to introduce Professor Motaung. Apologies. Thank you.
Acting Vice-Chancellor, Professor Stuart Motata, who is the Registrar at the University of South Africa. We welcome your presence, sir, as you chair this inaugural address to be delivered by Professor Tshwafo Elias Motaung from the Department of Chemistry at the University of South Africa. I'd also like to welcome members of the College of Science, Engineering and Technology, CSET, the Executive Committee, academic staff, and non-academic staff. I'd also like to welcome distinguished ladies and gentlemen from other universities in the country and externally who have set aside time to follow this inaugural address to be given by Professor Motaung. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of the respondent, Professor Motaung, who is a physics lecturer at the Nelson Mandela University. We welcome you, Professor Motaung, and we thank you for setting aside time to be the respondent to the inaugural address to be given this afternoon. And I would like to acknowledge the presence of the family of Professor Motaung, his friends, his collaborators, his invited guests. And it is my pleasure today to read the citation of Professor Tswafo Elias Motaung, who is currently serving as a professor at the University of South Africa, and also is involved with the university, Sefakhato Health Science University, the chemistry department, as a research associate. Professor Motaung has authored more than 30 conference papers and published more than 80 journal articles, 40 book chapters, a book, and has been an inventor of a few prototypes. He's currently involved in student supervision, and to date he has graduated more than 20 postgraduate students, which include honor students, masters, and doctoral students. His experience is predominantly in the area of organic polymer chemistry, where he focuses on nanocomposites and has got an interest in entrepreneurship, especially as it relates to scientists. No wonder he is an inventor of some prototypes. Professor Motaung was born at a place which has become waterless, and it is of course extremely rural according to him, but surrounded by rich mountains. I'm talking about Qwaqwa. That is where he finished both his primary education and secondary education. The primary education was at Selebalo Primary School, whereas his secondary education was done at Shakane High School before he joined a local university, which is the current University of Free State satellite campus. That is where he enrolled and he finished his PhD in polymer chemistry. So Professor Motaung never neglected his roots, the place where he was born. He did all his studies in the same province, the University of the Free State. After obtaining his PhD, he started to sojourn out of the University of Free State, and he landed at CSIR in 2011. 2 years later, he was promoted to the rank of senior researcher at CSIR. Then he responded to the call of academia. He responded to the call to train students at university. No wonder he was appointed in 2015 at another province at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where he assumed the position of associate professor and later HOD at the University of Zululand, where he also obtained his promotion to full professor in 2021. He then joined UNISA in 2021 as a full professor in the Department of Chemistry. It is therefore now my pleasure to welcome Professor Tswafo Elias Motaung to ascend to the podium to present his inaugural lecture to confirm his appointment as a professor at the University of South Africa. I thank you.
Firstly, I would like to welcome all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome friends, colleagues, and my family members who managed to connect. I would also like to recognize the opportunity I'm given by UNISA, Vice Chancellor, DVCs, a dean of our school, and of course our HOD. Really, I value this opportunity, and I am thankful for it. I need to note as well that I joined the UNISA from University of Zululand. That's where I got full professorship, and I was appointed here as professor. So I really would like once again to appreciate this opportunity. Let me take you out through my presentation. I will take you through dedications, research profile, outline of main projects, and up to collaborations. I would like to dedicate this talk to my parents. They are late. It's Marinke Motaung and Letsatsi John Motaung. We have been putting faces of hardcore scientists, Stein, Newton, you can name them. But I thought maybe today it will be proper. And this is one of the good opportunity to put them here and to appreciate their contribution in my life and support in general. I would like to mention that I used to play ball, soccer, a lot. Even today, if I get an opportunity to kick it, I do. And my father used to encourage me to focus on schoolwork or church. So I really such guidance and positive influence from my mother assisted me to achieve many things in my life. Mewaka ki Madinkeng otso ba chabalala itonga la mavoso ba ka wawa. Ntate ki Motaung ki mogelo o motso motala ke lekolokoto la makobasi. By so saying, I am appreciating them, and I hope that they are with me in spirit. Like I mentioned in my outline, I will take you through my research profile. My research items, I've got 107 research items to date, and chapters, conference papers, articles, and books are in the mix. But I would like to also highlight that I graduated more than 20 honors students and more than 10 MScs, 2 PhDs and 4 postdocs. And the outputs which I will present are indeed dedicated to students in particular, because they are the ones who assist us, who work hard in the lab and all those stuffs. But amongst all the projects, I would like to put these 5 of them forward. Synthesis, characterization of modification of biomass, polymer composites, extraction of cellulose, lignin and hemicellulose, ceramic and semiconductor nanophosphors. This is in collaboration with physics giants. Feasibility studies of agro waste to valuable products. This one is continuous. Any opportunity that we get, we tap into it to make sure that we get value-added product to a waste. Waste management book series. There is a second book coming very soon. It is under pipeline. Before I can give you highlights of some of them. General highlights in terms of polymer composites, the outputs. I would like to take you through a preparation. The general preparation we used is melt mixing, is in situ polymerization, is mastication, and general solution mixing. Melt mixing, that's where you take you directly mix. This is in the industrially favored method because it doesn't use solvent at all. But that's where you take your nanophase and polymeric matrix, mix them at temperature around their melting points and around the melting point of polymer matrix. If you are doing the blend, of course you will check the average melting point so that they all melt, and you mix them, and that's where you get composite. However, the other interesting method is in situ polymerization. In the in situ polymerization, what happens is the synthesis of a matrix, a polymer matrix, in the presence of nanofillers, or it could be the synthesis of nanocomposites, nanophase, in the presence of a polymer. What is happening here is that somehow you have to evaporate solvent, which is why most industries are not in favor of this method. Nonetheless, this method, in situ polymerization and solution mixing, generally they showed superior properties than the melt mixing method, especially when during the preparation we managed to phase out bubbles. I would also like to give highlight on mastication. The mastication is a two roll mills, and between the roll mills you put rubber in the middle. With time, as the rubber absorb heat, it will it will improve elasticity, and that's why you would add fillers or modify it in anyhow, so that you can arrive to the composite. This method is popular in many parts of India, including Mahatma Gandhi University. That's why my first-hand experience this method. However, here in South Africa, we were lucky to be collaborating with NMU under Professor Hlangothi. That's where we normally run the mastication process. So generally, these are the methods that we use to characterize, to prepare a composite. I would like to take you through one of the interesting work done by Zizo, the effect of acid content on polyfurfuryl alcohol cellulose composites. In this method, we were trying to influence the PFA by its nature is brittle. So by introduction of modified cellulose, we were trying to influence its brittleness. You can see that there from FTIR show interesting interaction by the appearance and disappearance of peaks, which are related. If you can check peaks around 1250 wave number, it is associated to interaction of sulfonation with polymetric matrix. Of course, we got very interesting thermal properties, which gave us hope that maybe something happened a bit in elasticity. But when you check the damping factor, when you check the damping factor, it's I will say we were disappointed, but at least we managed to influence elasticity up to a particular point. However, we are also in with the project of this nature, continuing to in our lab to make sure that we somehow influence the properties of PFA, because this matrix, indeed, we believe that we can find more application around it, since it's cheap and it could be synthesized from wastes such as sugarcane bagasse. The other paper, which is done by Dr. Mohomani, now the HOD of Chemistry Department at UniZulu, is comparison of alkali treatment, sugarcane bagasse, and softwood polypropylene composites. Here we were modifying sugarcane bagasse and softwood and their respective cellulose to see how can they influence the properties of the material. While it's clear from FTIR that there is a disappearance and appearance of peaks, which speaks to the interaction of cellulose and generally OH group with the matrix. What is interesting more is that from the assay you could see that there is I will say early melting, which suggests that the smaller crystallites. Furthermore, you can see that the peaks are sharper, which suggests that uniform crystallites were formed during the matrix composites, and of course, when you check cooling, you won't see much of the difference, but it's clear from the melting that there is a difference, and this difference could be consumed by any company or where the application of early melting is desirable. I will also take you through the thermal degradation kinetics of sugarcane bagasse and softwood. In this case, we were checking how does this two materials undergo degradation, thermal degradation stages. So, of course, these materials were modified first with alkali, and at the end we found that, of course, alkali treated materials showed thermal masculine. Yes, they showed a better thermal properties up to around 350, and those materials, which one? Those materials with untreated materials, generally, they suggest a higher thermal char content, and that it reflected when you check activation energy versus degree of conversion, especially at around 0.4 degree of conversion, which is proportional to 40% mass loss. this study, indeed, we used Kisinka method and Ozawa. You can see that the trend is similar. But what I want to highlight with this study is that this study gives us a good information on why we have eventually we have a higher char content of treated material, of untreated material, especially SW, which is softwood, compared to the rest. It tries to explain why we have higher char content, and these results generally they could be applied when the energy consumption is critical. You would know that instead of using softwood in certain application, rather you use sugarcane bagasse because less activation energy will be required to arrive to the certain degree of degradation. I will also want to a bit take you through this article, the work which awarded us Peace Award from India. The work was done by Hlapis Ntabeling. She was modifying gold nanorods using polyporphyrins to try to heal cancer. I must confess that we did the lab work very well. We are still yet to advance this project to animals to check indeed if our results are effective to attack a tumor. Nonetheless, the nature of the project and the nature of the project and our initial analysis showed that indeed the results are possible to attack cancer, or rather to retard the growth of a tumor. So this work awarded us our group, which was led by Professor Songa, myself, and Dr. Linganiso. So it was awarded as a Ruler Peace Award. And I really would like us to keep the project of this nature, because they are in line of the requests or demands of National Development Plan health management. And I would also want to a bit say something about material science and entrepreneurship. Following what is in the National Development Plan Vision 2030. We are still doing our share, economic and technical feasibility, one of our projects. We did this project, the first project with Umhlatshozwe municipality. We are also engaging waterless toilet. Bioplastic composite is actually what I just presented, biobrick development, enhancing properties of polymer composites and nanocomposites. When you check National Development Plan, our project are planned to respond to the National Development Plan, and when you check its chasm, how it is structured, it says a knowledge should influence economy through innovation. So that's where we add, and that's what I would like to encourage, that generally we need to consider to make a knowledge project, if possible. The project should be SME. It should be a business for student, let me say, for example. And I also like to mention that perhaps maybe let me expand on the brick project, and I will throw in the point which I want to to highlight now. I wanted to talk about GCIP, but let me talk about the BRIC project. What we did with the BRIC project, we visited, we were at Zululand, we visited different industries and collected their wastes. And from their waste, without being specific on waste, but the main component was sugarcane bagasse, and we collected it from a Tonkat Hewlett. We engaged Ilovo, and this project are still continuing. So that because we want to expand valuable products which comes from different waste from different industries. So, but we managed to make a bricks which is cheaper, lighter, and low use of energy. And this project awarded our research group 500,000 from KZN Technology Transfer Fund, and it won. It was in the finalists at a global competition innovation program, which is GCIP, and it was also in finalists in London at Leaders in Innovation Fellowship. But what I would like to mention here is that given the current tide of dynamic problems, including COVID, before you know it, we've got 4IR, before you know it, we've got variant. It's important to introduce our students to entrepreneurship and ownership of the outputs and independent thinking in terms of wealth and in terms of wealth and sustainability, because you may find most of our students generally, you will find as studying to be rich, to be wealthy, only to find out you will be rich with knowledge, but it might end the same. So it's better to introduce the entrepreneurship skills and try to channel our projects to suit the national mandate so that we can secure those funding and add true value to the funding. As we continue with the material entrepreneurship, I would also like to mention that we managed to, in our research group, we managed to publish a book which awarded us 5 research awards. It is called Waste Profit is There Online. If you go in the book, colleagues and friends, I'm not trying to market anything, but I have to confess what is inside the book. The book here, I will say, is a solution, is a manual, is a solution for stuck industrial partners and general farmers, academics, entrepreneurship, but it is more. It gives the opportunity to start I will say business using waste. We analyzed a lot of waste, interacted with industries and to see possibilities. This at least this book is not valued by me, but it was valued. I was invited to many conferences to say a bit about the content of the book and the vision thereof. So in one of the conferences in Cape Town, I was shocked to see somebody presenting and really putting the cover of the book on the slides to say these are the relevant books if we're indeed serious about the national mandate. Friends, colleagues, I just want to make a reflection because one may believe that now I'm here, I'm a hero and all those things, but I wouldn't be here if I was working alone. So there was one of very effective collaboration which I would like to highlight, which we achieved a series of milestones with. involved Professor Motaung from Walter Sisulu University and Professor Kwao from University of the Free State Qwaqwa campus, the former UNIN. And with them we published articles and we supported students. It's a very humbling experience, colleagues, I need to mention. And we supported each other through different career ladders. When there are problems, we would engage generally. However, we took the collaboration to a different level. Where we thought maybe some people somewhere they've got the similar challenges that we are facing. Find people for some reasons don't progress in research and they've got the same challenges that we can share together. So we opened a team in 7 years ago. We called it the Collaboration Symposium. Last it was held at University of Zululand and at University of Zululand through supervision of Professor Siepe and Professor Kunene. They gave us the platform to flourish. In fact, this symposium was established there, but it is our national symposium, and we encourage senior students and colleagues to own up to this. The intention of the symposium, annually we have a theme. The last year theme, for example, was effective collaboration, inflate innovation, and call for a practical decolonization of education. The intention here is to raise African scholars so that they can be in forefront of the education, because that is one of the best ways to decolonize education. So we've amongst other international collaborators which I would like to mention, I want to mention Professor Msoto from the University of Lesotho. Professor Msoto, we engaged in prototype developments through Portable Innovation Hub. He's the manager of the Innovation Hub, so regularly we try to come with them new products. And I will also want to talk to mention the Swaziland collaborator, Dr. Ndlovu Tabile. We are engaging in terms of students program exchange. So and there is a list of international collaborators, but I'm comfortable, colleagues, to go back to our national collaborators. These are quarter of my local collaborators. Before you here, there are physicists, there are directors from companies, different companies. I can see the director from Mhlatuze, and there are professors from different universities. For example, we have our elder Professor Salele, and there are scholars from different universities, from University of Limpopo. Generally, these are the some of our collaborators who are participating to the milestones that we achieve, and we wish to leave this legacy for the next generation to take it from to notice that to work together, to share resources, to share knowledge. Selflessness is one of the tools that we are missing in terms of your own achievement and achievement of others. Currently, we are, as I will say, running the research group, and the supervisors there is Dr. Malevu, Dr. Lenganiso from VEDS, Dr. Muhumane from Unizulu, and the students. The effort that Dr. Lenganiso and Dr. Muhumane are putting there is, Dr. Malevu and Dr. Muhumane are putting there is appreciated and is acknowledged. I would also like to acknowledge the University of Zululand. The true soldier was made there with the support they gave me while I was there, and also Mhlathuze Water funding. Some of the projects were completed through funding from the municipality. Hewlett Tonkat for waste. They freely gave us waste. Fosco also for waste. Gypsum, they gave us gypsum. And technology innovation agencies, in fact, to make sure that our projects fit the criteria for developing SMEs. Of course, NRF did wonders as well to fund some of the students. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, I don't have enough words or the right words. I will still go to consult the dictionary to find the better words to say thank you for your support, and may God of Africa bless you all. Thank you very much.
Good day to the Registrar, Prof. M.S. Mutata. Good day to Prof. B. Mamba, the Executive Dean of College of Science, Engineering and Technology. To Prof. T.E. Motaung, who's giving his inaugural lecture. I will just be responding to his nice talk of his inaugural lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Professor S.V. Motaung. I was with Nelson Mandela, but currently I am with Walter Sisulu at Mutata campus. Now, I would like to give my response to wonderful talk from Professor Motaung. So my outline is actually going to start with, I will just be starting with the introduction, where I will just introduce you to his research so that you can understand what he is actually doing. But I will run away from going deep in details in terms of the physics and chemistry behind that. And I will also say something about the contribution of a new body of knowledge that he has actually contributed. And I will also say something as to why is this research relevant to our needs. So let me just start with the introduction. I just want to take you back to the when the sugarcane is actually harvested. When the sugarcane is harvested up until we end up with the sugar, there are many processes which are actually going through, and many people are actually taking the sugarcane bagasse and they make the charcoal, but others are actually taking it to be disposed as a waste. But where the other industries are just burning this waste, and we know that burning this waste is not healthy to the environment. Now, where does Prof. Motaung enter? Prof. Motaung research is actually in this waste disposal. He's actually taking this sugarcane bagasse and he's doing some sort of the ash or extract the polymer from this. Now I will, in my next slides, I will just talk about these ashes that he is doing. And I also want to emphasize that Professor Motaung's research is actually on the waste material. He wants to use waste material to produce good products. Now, for an example, the contribution of the new body of knowledge. Number one, they did in his research group, they produced these ashes from the sugarcane bagasse, which was a waste. And from there, what did they do? They actually produced the bricks for building. And what I like about their bricks, And of course, there are many things which involves lots of chemistry and the IP, and there are some secrets that are known by Prof. Motaung and his collaborators and his team, of course, and I don't want to go deep in details with that. But what I like about these bricks, they will offer, they are light and they are affordable because they are cheaper, and as they are lighter, they will actually, it will be easy for the transportation. They will save petrol from point A to point B. That's the first contribution that Prof. Motaung has actually done. Contribution number 2, Prof. Motaung is also into the polymers. These polymers, they actually synthesize the polymers. I remember with his postdocs, they want to incorporate the eggshells. The eggshells is another waste. They want to incorporate this eggshell into the polymer so that they can produce the fire resistance product, such as this coats which are worn by these firefighters. And I also want to talk about the last contribution that he has actually done in his research. This is another waste from these bottles. They either want to incorporate the phosphor material. And for an example, why am I collaborating with Professor Motaung is because I am actually producing these phosphor materials. And after producing them, for an example, after I publish the papers, I will just dispose them. Therefore, I started to collaborate with Prof. Motaung because his research is actually, he hates waste. He doesn't like waste material. So I am taking this as my waste, and then I incorporate it into the polymers that he produced, or into this waste of polymers, so that we can actually produce the light emitting materials such as these toys. Now, I want to emphasize again, good people, that Professor Motaung's research is into waste. His research is into waste, but what he does with this waste, he wants to produce the products. So good people, with this, I just want to show you that research of Professor Motaung is in polymers, nanocomposites, to business. He starts with the polymer to business opportunity. Now, my last slide will be to introduce you, to tell you why is this research relevant. I think everybody now is clear, and it is obvious that his research is actually very important because he wants to manage the waste so that he can produce very good products that we can use in each and everyday life. And most importantly, his research is actually talking to the National Development Plan Vision 2030, because, for an example, you see there's an innovation of new materials. Apart from the innovations, there's also a training of students, and there's also the development of new products, as well as opening some jobs for other people. With all these good people, I would like to say thank you. Now, I also want to wish Prof. Motaung well in his research and his future research, and also wish him well. And I also want to thank him for choosing me, for being a respondent to his wonderful talk. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Professor Motaung, congratulations and welcome to the Academy, Prof. We really appreciate your thought-provoking lecture, and thanks to both Professors Becky Mamba and, of course, Professor Motaung for your participation in this inaugural ceremony. Thanks, Prof. Mamba, for introducing Professor Motaung, and thanks, Prof. Motaung, for a wonderful and insightful response. I also wish to express my sincere thanks to Professor Motaung for an exceptional lecture. And on behalf of the Council and the Senate of the University of South Africa, it is my honor to welcome Professor Tshwafo Motaung to the Professoriate of the University. And congratulations, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for honoring us with your presence on this occasion. We are very appreciative of this. We have now reached the end of our proceedings today. Thank you.